Hey guys, before we get started with the video, if you like the content I'm putting out on my channel, be sure to subscribe and tick that chime next to it to stay updated for future releases, and be sure to comment on what you'd like to see on this channel going forward. Monster Hunter World is the current iteration of the Monster Hunter franchise by Capcom. It's a series I love very deeply. I've been playing every game since Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, and I've been loving the ride ever since. I got a lot of stories playing with my friends, whether it being knocked off by a cliff by a kazoo, or talking about the philosophical existence of the great Jaggy, who is clearly some poor guy dealing with depression. It's been fun. It's just been fun. But you know what isn't fun though? The Handler. I honestly don't know how people like this character, or how there aren't videos upon videos about how the Handler sucks, like the Handler hate. So with that, I decided to make one, and it's complicated, but also not. There's people who hate her for stupid reasons, and those that hate her for a lot of good reasons. And I feel like this video right here will highlight all the possible reasons to hate her. And trust me, one of them I can guarantee you won't see coming. She's a dragon. One of the things I hate about the Handler, and really have to put front and center right now, because in a game franchise based around you, yes, you becoming stronger, you overcoming adversity, and you being awesome, it's really annoying to have the water boy or water girl take 50% of your credit all the time. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if she took all the credit, because at least I'd know in my heart of hearts that I did the work and she was just a really shitty person. But no, seriously, she makes it clear to emphasize the we in practically every mission you're in.
You can do it! We can do it! No matter what happens, I'll be here with you. We're unbreakable team.
No, bitch, that's not how it works. You sit at base stuffing your face while I'm swinging my 400-pound Dragon Slayer into a dragon. I know they're wyverns, but give me a break. You might think this is pretty petty, and yes, it is, but again, in a video game where it's about you, the hunter, becoming a competent hunter to the point where you become a fucking god, it's annoying to have someone who does about 1% of the work stealing half the credit. Imagine if this was like a class project and you did all the research and you took all the photos for the PowerPoint and wrote up the PowerPoint, and your friend was the guy who clicked the button to go to the next page. Great job, partner. No, there's no. There's no I in team, but there is in carried. And that's the situation in Monster Hunter World. And I don't think people really mention that. It's like if your favorite sports team won, do you think the damn water boy deserves any praise? Maybe a high five or slap on the ass or whatever they do in sports games. I'm not really comfortable with football, but it's not like he was running with the ball.
You can do it! We can do it! No matter what happens, I'll be here with you. We're unbreakable team.
It's just really disrespectful. For someone who claims to be an A-lister like you, like she in the beginning of the game, she says, "Oh, I'm an A-lister too, you know." Well, you know, for me, at least someone who's played a Monster Hunter game before, she certainly doesn't show any right to hold that title of an A-lister. Fuck, she barely shows any higher level brain function. From the start of the game to, seriously, not even kidding, just before the final boss, she's an airhead who puts herself in danger to then get saved by you. She has this impulsive nature to always run towards danger. It's really weird. Like if you watch the cutscenes on YouTube, like big monster, must run to it, like you don't have a weapon. Examples: giant volcano monster, better run to it. Possible campsite infested with monsters that can paralyze you with a little scratch, better jump down and make some noise. Fuck me, there's a time where she goes balls deep into a place where only the truly bileless monsters can live, and she gets face to face with this godless killing machine. And she has to get saved again. It's a meme at this point. You'd think she'd arm herself with a weapon or a Farcaster or something outside of a notebook. She has the impulsive nature to constantly run at monsters, and whenever you do save her, She never says thank you. She never says thank you. It's ridiculous. If you can like screenshot if she ever does say thank you to you even once, I don't know, I'd give you a shout out. I don't know. She shows more concern for a woman she just met, and she more than happily volunteers you to save her. FYI, that old lady lives in the Rotten Vale. She legit just lives there. She's more than capable of handling herself. Miss Handler. And when you save the old lady, she's like, I live here. And I was like, yeah, I already knew that, but the handler didn't. She doesn't listen. She has like a zero-track mind. Is that even possible? And what's really funny is that she was gonna run out to save the old lady herself. It was only until she came back and was like, don't do that, that's pretty stupid. Don't worry, she gonna do it again. None of this makes me feel like a badass hunter. It makes me feel like a babysitter. Like escort missions in video games, they're so annoying. But could you imagine anyone else being her hunter? Like the hunter dies pulling her up off a ledge, and then like a Devil Joe just sinks his teeth into you and crushes you into oblivion. Like seriously. Side note, the delay on Devil Joe must be because they have to shoehorn some type of cutscene for the handler doing something stupid. You know that's the case. Like confusing Joe for a pickle and wanting to take a bite, because when in doubt, take a bite.
Hey, partner! Come here! Ah! Oh, oh. Oh?
Fuck you, lady. I want to state that I'm not against women in video games, and I abhor bullying. But for one, this is a fictional character. This is a fictional woman that seems to regress, the women's rights movement back like 70, 80 years. And I honestly can't think of one sensible feminist or SJW out there who would even want to defend her. So before any people unleash their contrarian argument about how great the handler is, please tell me, just tell me 3 useful things she does, because I can't. She does less than nothing, or maybe like marginally one thing, if you combine all the small things and make one thing out of it. Because I asked my friend, I was like, tell me 3 things she does. And he was like, oh, fuck me, man, I could barely think of 2. And those aren't even like important. Most defenders of her say this: she's your quest girl and she makes food for you out on the field. And here I am thinking I'm an OG Monster Hunter. I'm badass, man. Anyone who's played Monster Hunter games before knows that if you don't eat at the canteen, it's either because you're either a cocky dick or you just plumb forgot. So in Monster Hunter World, you can eat out on the field, which is pretty handy. It's good for casuals, even though speedrunners would never use this feature because it adds time on the clock, which is not good. If you're doing a 15-minute hunt and you spend 30 seconds eating, that ain't good. So besides, why would you want the handler making you meals in the first place? You're putting a woman in the kitchen. That's apparently wrong or something by 2018 standards. Look at her smelling up my food, you freak. The cats make better meals to begin with. I know they don't, but I want to think they do. As for being a quest board, there's legit 3 other places to get quests. One board at the entrance of Astera, the smithy, which is probably where you live because you just want to keep making weapons and armor, right? And the gathering hub, which is empty as balls, but you have to be there for the arena quests. So that's 1/2 mitigated food usefulness because the Meowscular chef makes you food, and 1 out of 4 mitigated usefulness on being a quest board, which means those things she's useful in don't even add up to 1 point of usefulness. And even if we counted them as actually being useful factors, it's still not 3. I mean, I guess she roasts you like rations, but food gives you auto fucking stamina anyway, so who gives a shit? She's so useless. Is there a reason they made her look this way? She's got this face that, in the words of my buddy Nova Solstice, looks like a shoe. Like, I actually have a hard time finding positions with the camera that make her look visually pleasing. I can't be the only guy who notices this. Like, Monster Hunter was never known for its graphics, and, fan art filled the void. But here, with this new hardware, it's strictly in the uncanny valley. You know that whole thing where, like, the more detail you add to make it look more human, the less human it looks, because it's weird? I guess we're in that era of gaming where our graphics look really, really fucking good in cutscenes, but we're not really at the point in our time where we could confuse this thing for a real person yet. Like, Fetch from infamous Second Son is a really good example. Some shots of her, when you freeze frame her, look really nice, but seeing it in motion just looks off and inhuman. Like, the handler just seems so fake, and I don't know if it's intentional, it's weird looking. The difference here is that Fetch was meant to be visually appealing. My buddy Nova Solstice will immediately disapprove because of short hair, but the handler has short hair, so he doesn't care either way. So the handler, unlike Fetch, like, just fat, at least by the Japanese standards of fat. And oh boy, let's get into that one. Let's get into the whole thing about the handler being fat.
He's fat! He's fat! He's fat! He's fat! He's fat!
Did you know she likes food? Did you know that? Did you know that she really likes food? That's her other character trait, aside from being an impulsive spaz that gets herself and other people in trouble. Like, in all reality, she's not that fat, but because she's made from a Japanese studio and because Japan hates us because we nuke the fuck out of them, they like our money, but they hate us. A lot of countries hate us. They gotta make the Americanized female lead be a dumb, fat, worthless sack of shit.
He's fat!
She's caught eating 24/7. She ogles the crap out of your food, and her quote is, "When in doubt, take a bite." And for fuck's sakes, her whole reason for going to the New World is to find every last edible and potato. You gotta make that distinction and record it, you fat pig. How dare she question my reasons for being in the New World? I'm doing this to kill monsters. The title is called Monster Hunter, not Potato Hunter. You just here to stuff your ugly face. Here's her amazing quote at the end of the game, and you can't say I'm poking fun at a fat person. Take a listen.
I better pack on some weight. This is gonna be hard work.
Hard work. Hey, stop it!
Ooh, really had to hammer it home, Capcom. She's fat, we get it. You're a bunch of bastards. Can you patch her out now? Monster Hunter World G with 200% more protein and less fat. This is how Japan seriously looks at us. Don't be mad at me, be mad at Capcom. Oh, I gotta put on some weight, gonna be a lot of hard work. You haven't done shit. Hard work.
Hard work! Hard work, Joseph!
Fuck you. She's the one with the story. She's the mouthpiece. And that line of thought needs to be crushed right now. No. Previous Monster Hunters tasked you as some dude, who just got shit done. You're just some guy who gets shit done, and it was perfect. I didn't need a mouthpiece. Does this mouthpiece add anything? No, it doesn't. All she does is explain stuff we already knew. Oh, hey partner, did you know you throw 2 trank bombs on the monster when it's captured in a trap, you can capture it and bring it back to base? Yeah, I knew that. Can you not remind me anymore? Please? The camera just focuses on her way too much, and it's really frustrating. She hogs it. She hogs the camera, and I always sit back and think that my character is just this stoic mute, or he's an idiot, because the guy can't fucking talk. He doesn't talk, and that's fine. But you couldn't have my guy just give a stern groan or a piercing glare. Nope, he's got no personality. He's just a fucking drone. He's just some artificially controlled dude. But no, I'm not AI. I'm a human player. My character would have reactions to this. I made my character have a grumpy face because everything she did just gave him a grumpy face. Fuck you. Honestly, what's weird is that this isn't something new in storytelling. It's the story of an average everyman, or every woman in this situation, being put into a world of magic. Just think Star Wars, for example. Luke isn't some skilled warrior until he goes through training. He's just a dude that's tasked with a huge adventure. Or think Dragon Ball. Just this kid who's thrown into this world of magic and lore. It's so interesting. There's so much interesting stuff that can be explored, but it has to be balanced with character development. Monster Hunter has always been about the monsters and not the characters. None of the characters matter. Maybe the Shakalakas, maybe, but really not even. So having a proxy character would have been a nice change. It would have been revolutionary if they tackled it correctly, but they didn't. They made an impulsive, disrespectful main character who ends up staying an impulsive, disrespectful main character. So if characters don't learn anything, what was the point of their existence? It's kind of like storytelling 101. You gotta have a point to your story. The characters have to do the thing. They gotta do the thing that makes them change into a better person or a worse person. Unless your point of the story was to say American white women are useless by themselves and should stay in the kitchen, then you did a great job, Capcom. I believe it. Give me Serious Handler, because it's in her title. Like, I would so much prefer the Serious Handler, because just look at her. Like, she seems like a person who has her shit together. And look, she's suspiciously Japanese. The Japanese, the real alpha race. So the final boss of this game is a big dragon. Go figure, right? It's got this amazing design. Imagine Blue Eyes White Dragon fucked the Red Eyes Black Dragon, and you got this beast. It even fires Burst Stream Destruction, or
Blue Eyes White Lightning Attack!
Distinctly a female dragon that, when angered, is able to cause massive AoE explosions. And it's a really nice finale for the game, since it's very raid boss-like. You know, it's just this big thing that takes a lot of damage. I wouldn't say it's as hard as Teostra, but I mean, it's a fairly nice fight. Like, glad we didn't end with the third encounter of Zora Magdalos. But what does this thing have to do with the handler? Well, you see that pulsating core of this female dragon? That's her. The handler is JIIVA. I know, it's crazy, but I have proof. From the very beginning of the game, the handler has put herself in danger and never as much acknowledged you as a hunter or your skills. She doesn't care about your existence and wants this adventure in this new world to never end, because she knows that you will bail her out. She doesn't have to accept any responsibility. She wants to just have as much fun as possible. Well, it's pretty convenient that the final boss of this game, the thing that would make a player stop playing after they won, at least for casuals anyway, she suddenly starts caring about your safety. She didn't care about you that when you had to fight 3 Elder Dragons, all of which are clearly, not arguably, tougher than JIIVA. The handler is in fact JIIVA. What do you think she's been reading all this time? There's not enough monsters in this game to warrant even half those books. She's been studying old draconic rituals. I mean, do you see her when you go out to fight JIIVA?
You can do it! We can do it! No matter what happens, I'll be here with you. Here, an unbreakable team.
I don't. And of course, she has to say the tilting lines of, "We are a great team." She wants to have you distracted. She wants you to fail this final mission. Hell, the guild didn't even know what this monster was. It's never been shown in any of the history books. It's apparently a new type of Elder Dragon. How convenient. Say it to yourself. The handler is JIIVA. And that's all the reasons why I can't stand the handler, or JIIVA. She's just this weird addition to the Monster Hunter landscape, and I know that there's always going to be 4 types of main fans, or like people who are detractors. There's the people that legitimately like her, there's the people that like her because the other side hates her, and of course the flip-flop, like there's people that legitimately hate her and people that hate her because the other side likes her. I don't know. When they make Monster Hunter World G, I would love to have her patched out. I mean, bring back Guildmarm. You made DLC to dress the handler up as her just as a way to rub in salt in our open flesh wounds. I don't know, Capcom, you give us this amazing world and you give us so little lore that we need to fill in the blanks ourselves. Well, you gave us your first main character, who also has little lore, and now us as the fans need to fill in the blanks. The handler is XENO JIIVA. Well guys, thank you for watching. If you like this video, please feel free to subscribe and drop a comment on what are your thoughts on the handler. Do you think she's XENO JIIVA? Maybe you'd like to see some more Monster Hunter content. I play this series religiously and I would love to make more videos on it. I also review manga and other games, so any suggestions on where to take this channel is so appreciated. With that being said, have a good day.